All right, so we're gonna now dive into how do you set these goals effectively and energetically, actually ending up attracting them in a proper manner, and that is going to be the conversation today. So I'm going to start with the process of helping you understand how to set this stage up properly. Okay, so what I find for me, okay, my goal is 100K a month in 3 months. Okay, so there are two paths that most people don't I think that they make it so hard to understand. Okay, path number one is always your one-on-one appointments. Okay, all right, one-on-one appointments. Path number one, whenever you try to do something and you want to reach, sell big ticket items, or you want to reach your goals fastest, this is going to be your fastest path, is one-on-one appointments. Okay, so I did the math on this and I said, okay, how many people would I need to talk to on a weekly basis for me to really hit my goal? Okay. Now, you guys, between my VIP mastermind, my 3-day events, or and my and the daily wealth manifestation are the three offerings I have. Okay. So we're going to talk about offerings in a minute, but for you guys, but specifically right now we're talking about paths. Okay. So when you think of your goal, right? When you think of what you want to accomplish, you're also thinking about, what what path is going to be best for you. Okay. What path is best for you? So, 1 second, I need to mute people. What path is best for you? Okay. For me, one-on-one is golden ratio for me. One-on-one always works. Like always. Okay. And one-on-one, what you're going to find is one-on-one is actually the cost-effective route. Not just it's effective route, but it's a cost-effective route. Specifically, when you're trying to do big ticket sales. It's not effective for small ticket sales, just so you know. Okay. It is not effective for small ticket sales. And I'm leading you to with this to certain place. Okay. All right. Then comes a group stuff. So in a group stuff, you have some sort of event. Okay, doesn't matter what you call it, right? Event type of situation. So if it's a webinar, right? If it's a master class, right? It's a master class or a summit you put together. Okay, networking. And so forth. Okay, so these are all the ways you are basically marketing or selling, essentially. Okay, and there are multiple ways you can also do speaking engagements, right? All right, so for these things to work, okay, the easiest path is this one, because all you have to learn is can we meet. Okay, that's it. The marketing for that ended pretty much. All right, the higher ticket items that you want to sell, okay, you want to try to or smaller ticket items, right? So you can go for events, and that's also a strategy. I'm going to ask you guys and think about it. For me, events is from a strategic move point of view. When I did my math, and I'll show you both mathematical equations, what it's going to take for me to make this work. Okay, so the first thing is, as you guys know, my process that I am following, and I'm going to take you step by step exactly what I'm doing so you understand how it's working. Okay, so one-on-one, I need about 30 appointments a week. Okay, if I do, and I count it as a worst case scenario, meaning like I'm a horrible closer, I cannot close that many people, and I'm really bad at it. Okay, that's how I looked at it. So whenever you're planning something, you are planning from the worst case scenario, so that way if the scenario works out to be better, it's in your favor. Okay, so the backward math of that is very simple, right? So think about, from a VIP mastermind point of view, and how this is folding out. let's suppose that out of 30 appointments, I close, let's say, because based on the math that I'm taking, at a mathematical equation, out of that, let's just suppose that I convert, 20% into, 20% into daily wealth, right? 20% into into my events, okay? And maybe 5% into the VIP mastermind. Okay, 5%. So we are looking at, from a mathematical equation, from a worst case scenario point of view, not from the best case scenario point of view. Now, my question to myself, you guys remember my decision making formula, right? Can I bear the cost? Am I willing to pay the price, right? Can I, does that, the formula we went through, correct? So that particular formula, as is happening here, and I'm asking myself, can I bear the cost of doing 30 appointments a week? It's my question to myself. Can I do 30 appointments a week? Yes. Have I done it before? Yes. Have I made big money doing that? Yes. Am I a good closer? Yes. Right? Are my numbers going to be better than 20%? Yes. But my question to myself is, do I want to do I have the capacity to do 30 appointments a week right now based on what I'm doing? No. Yeah. No. Exactly. So I'm asking myself, when I created this pathway that I need to really create. Now, in order for me to get 30 appointments, basically I would need my the way my funnel system is working, my process is working in this particular scenario is very first thing is I had to get aligned and I say, okay, how do I want to attract people? Right? How do I want to bring people into my ecosystem? And I am a very good networker. I've networked for a long time. I understand networking very well. Okay. So I understand stages very well. I understand speaking very well. I understand that world really well. Okay. So I decided to do networking because networking is the most natural path. Okay. And if you notice, my networking is what? Free. Now people have told me I'm crazy. We'll see. I don't think I'm crazy, just so you know. Okay. But I kept it free. Why? Because I want to have the maximum number of people in my beginning of my process. Okay. I want to have and it holds no bar right now. Okay. So the way I've done it in this case, right, and as I'm combining the one-on-one with groups, okay. So before, to book one-on-one appointments, I would go to networking events and I would literally say, "Can we meet?" That's the only line I memorized. I would go to networking event. I would be on Zoom like this, and then I would go on private chat and I say, "Can we meet?" That's how me and Miriam met. Okay. So you just need a way for you to meet people. That's it. Like start the journey there. Like Swan, we talked about realtors, right? Specifically your marketplace. I would go find out where the realtors are and literally say, "Hey, can we meet?" Like, and that will end your marketing campaign. Basically, can we meet? It's either you can meet or you can't. Like one of the two. Okay. If they ask you stupid question, why? Then that's not a person you want to talk to. That's my philosophy, at least. If they ask me why we want to meet, especially on LinkedIn or other places, right? Now on the phone or email or in person, obviously they're going to ask you. That's fine. You answer the question. Okay. All right. So potential, like how I can help you or how we can collaborate or or how I can refer you some people or what have you, right? How we can refer each other business. Some of those answers are very valid, right? But specifically when I go on LinkedIn and I do campaigns and people ask me, question of why are we meeting, I find it very ridiculous, honestly. But that's my thinking. I could be wrong, just so you know. Okay. But I ignore them. Like I don't really. Okay. That is like dumb question to me. Okay. But that being said, okay. But that's my philosophy, guys. Right. So you develop your philosophy, but that's my philosophy. Makes sense. I just think is you go into a networking event, obviously to network, and you're pasting a link saying, "Hey, can we meet?" right? You see somebody you really like to meet, and you paste a link and say, can we meet? And they're asking you dumb question, like, why are we meeting, right? I mean, obviously we're not getting married or something. I just want to meet you so that we can see, we can align and can we do business with each other? Can we really, have a conversation with each other? I want to meet you because I want to see how I can help you. And you come from that. So what I find is when you come from a space of like, you want to take, you're going to find that people repel in that way. Okay. But if you come from a space of, I want to give, there will be less resistance basically. Okay. So you want to think about that a little bit. So one-on-one is very, very crucial. So in terms of like networking, so that's going to be a fastest path. But I wanted to help people come to me. I did not want to go to multiple different events. There was a strategic move that I made. So I didn't want to have multiple, network, like, go to this networking and go to that networking, go to this networking, go to that, like all that. So I decided to create my own. But there was a strategic decision I made. Okay. So whenever you have your own something, you will always have the power. You will always have the upper hand. Yes, it's more work, but you have the upper hand. Does that make sense? Okay. So I want you guys to pay attention to that as a thought process, okay, as we are going through. So for me, free networking equals, right? So free networking, and what did I do? I am teaching you guys to do what? Paste a link, right? Because guess number one reason business owners fail is because they don't have what? Appointments. They don't have people to see, that the target market to see, period. Or people to see in this matter. Like Cindy, for you is very easy. Anybody who has dog is your potential client. Right? Okay, easy. Very, very easy. Okay. Like Christopher has a dog, you can see. But just just kidding. No, it's okay, buddy. I understand. Go ahead, Swan. You were asking something?
Oh no, I mean, I love it. You have to make a presence, right? You have to present yourself.
Yeah, just present, make new friends, have a good time. Okay. So
you've done your business all these years without using social media, and right now that really aside from LinkedIn, like Instagram, and TikTok, stuff like that you've never dabbled into that
ever 18 years.
Okay.
18 years. But now I'm going there. But until now, I wasn't. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
no, I think that's great. You successfully have, been able to network yourself without those platforms.
That's right. Right. So platforms are not important. What's important is why are you on that platform and what is the purpose and what are you aligning with? Because sometimes you are just on a platform because it's a hype. Sometimes you're on a platform because it's just a whole bunch of people talking hoopla. And this on my 3-day event, right? You guys will help be able to tell like what platform really belongs to you, what platform really speaks to you, right? What platform you should be on, what platform you shouldn't be on. So on my in my in on when I have that next, which is March 5th, 6th, and 7th, I would highly recommend all of you to come. But that being said, and that being said, like platforms speak different language than a individual. So if you are little like Dr. Crystal was, on she's on TikTok and Instagram now because her audience and her people like and herself like she aligns with that really well, right? So there is a and YouTube actually. So but she aligns with that very well, right? So certain platforms just don't have the your right fit client, but more importantly, your alignment to that platform. And then what happens is you constantly try to force something and it doesn't work out. Okay, it doesn't work out. So don't do that. Okay. So now, what I found is that if I go the route of networking, bringing people from someplace, okay, someplace, whatever that place is, into networking and go straight to one-on-one, my cost for this per month to do this particular goal is going to be about $3,500. Okay. All right. $3,500 right from the get-go. All right. This is my investment that I'm making on a monthly basis. Okay. This is an investment I need to make this work, meaning my goal of $100,000 a month. Okay. Now the question I have to ask myself is, am I here? Am I willing to bear this cost if this doesn't work out 1 month? Because the hustle is 1 month. It's not 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. It's just 1 month. Okay. So basically what transfers from here to here is just a decision that you're making in this case. Okay. Now, if you go the route that I was teaching you, the first route, which is can we meet? Can we meet? Right? It doesn't cost you any money. The reason it's costing me money, the reason I'm investing money, the reason I want to invest the money is because I have a goal that's very aggressive. It's a number one, it's an aggressive goal, but this, like, I know that this has always worked for me one-on-ones. So every time you go to a network, so you can have a simple strategy. Like, I'm going to go to a networking event and I'm just going to meet people and I'm going to try to close deals. That's a simple strategy. Okay. Now, when you go with that simple strategy, the coined phrase that I constantly teach you guys, right, is this coined by Ash Shukla: 3 appointments a day keeps poverty away. 10 appointments a day brings wealth my way. It never fails, ever. Okay, ever. So I just want you to see how I'm making decisions so you can have a proper understanding as to how to take your own decision. Okay, so I know that when I do 3 appointments a day, I can solve. You can do this without investing any dollars. But if I just want to coast and I just want to make, let's say, $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year, or I've done up to $300 million a year, depending on how you do the one-on-one strategically. Okay. Now, the reason for me of this particular investment is because, how I'm going about it. That's all. Okay. So it's not the only way, but it is a way. Am I making sense to you guys? Right? Now I'm going to start looking at ways for me to look at and go, okay, can I go from group to group? So from networking to 3-day event to, a VIP mastermind. Does that make sense? So networking to masterclass to 3-day event to a VIP mastermind. So that's also a path. Okay. They're both paths. The question is, which path do I take? So a lot of times you have to decide internally which is the right path. Now, if I go that route from group to group to group, the cost, this right here, the investment goes up to 10K a month. Okay. Basically, what that means is that, because I'm not having one-on-one conversations, right? The personal touch basically goes away in the initial stages, and that creates more friction, and it's a longer-term strategy for scaling big time. Make sense? It's a longer term strategy for scaling big time. So one is a sustainable strategy, one is a scalable strategy, right? Now, that does not mean, it's a myth to think that people are not able to scale their business. Okay, it's a myth to think that people are not able to scale their business doing one-on-one appointments. It's a myth. I know a lot of business owners who have built a multi-million-dollar businesses, literally just doing one-on-one appointments. Okay, it is a myth. It is a total myth. Okay. Now I'm going to simplify this for you guys. Okay, but you see where I'm going with this and how I'm making the decisions, right? There are numbers behind this that are working, like 3,500 and 10,000. There are numbers behind the scenes that are actually making the math work. And I always take the worst case scenario. Because this is the maximum I'm going to have to spend. It's not the minimum, it's the maximum. Okay, it's a maximum, it's not minimum. So the decision process is very different. So here, as I'm doing this right here, I'm going to erase this now for a second, and I'll show you, right? You can yourself, once you have and some of you, we're going to talk about markets and all that, but to do this, right, all you focus on is 3 appointments, okay, and 10 appointments. Right? If you keep this as your core focus, like just booking 3 appointments a day or 10 appointments a day as quickly as possible, a lot of your problems will start to go away. So selling, like when people think about like how to sell and how to make more money and I want to do this, right? Because number one problem is you're not seeing enough people. You start solving that, we can start solving the rest. Now we will talk about product development tomorrow because some of you don't have infrastructure yet. So we're going to talk about that, but I just want to show you how simple this is. Okay. So let's just suppose that you do 3 appointments a day. So that's about 15 appointments a week. Okay. Right. And out of that, even if you close one deal, and let's say that deal you're selling your offer at $2,000, okay? One deal. Even a simple math says per month, that means you just created a simple system that's going to make you $8,000 a month and 100 grand a year.
I also have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you conclude to this again? What's the 2,000?
So you set 15 appointments a week.
Uh-huh.
And out of the 15, you are really bad and you can only close like 1% or 10%. So you close 10% at $2,000, right? Which is one client, basically.
2,000 for what? For your service?
Yeah, from your service.
Okay, so I mean, that's not an hour. Like that's not a timely. Like when you're talking about one-on-one, right? We talk about hour appointments.
Right.
Packages.
This is okay. So let me clarify. So one-on-one is a sequence that I will teach you guys, as we're moving along, and you guys will know. So just bear with me, and you have a process that I'm going to teach you on how to take somebody from networking to closing. And so one-on-one is not a service. One-on-one is a appointment process that leads you to sales.
Right, I understand. But are you charging for your hourly your hourly visit? I don't understand where your $2,000 is coming from.
Just flat fee. It's not, forget about hourly for the time being. Just think of that $2,000 product or service that you're selling, right? I'm giving it as an example. It's not a real number. I'm just making something up.
Oh, I see. Okay, it's just an example. Okay.
Yeah, it's an example. It's not real. Okay, by the way, I don't have a $2,000 product. So, but for example, let's say you're selling something for $2,000. Let's suppose that you have a product that you're selling for $2,000. Okay, that particular product, as you it's just a simple math, right? Says, okay, you want to make 100,000 a year, just sell one a week. You make 100 grand. You want to make $200,000, just sell two a week.
Okay, so that's just a number you're throwing out. That's not based on hourly,
No, this is not based on hourly, monthly, none of that. It's just a number. Okay. I just put, let's say you have a product offering for your chakra bowls, and they are like, just is $2,000 for you to create transformation, or $10,000 to create transformation, whatever that number is, right? But what my point is, it's so easy to make money, and most people go into the weeds and they go, oh my God, it's so hard. It's not hard. The reason it's so hard is because you're not doing this piece, 15 appointments a week, okay, or 3 appointments a day, every day, right? You're not focused on the main thing that actually makes you money.
Just appointment.
Just go on appointments. You'll figure out the rest. You'll make mistakes, guaranteed. You will screw up, guaranteed, right? Like,
of course, we all have.
Right. Yeah, like me and Miriam, when we started working together, she took me on like almost 100 appointments to learn my process of how to close deals. So this one-on-one appointments, I'll teach you guys how to take people to closing, right? But this is going to be your fastest path to cash. Okay. So I'm just showing you some simple math here.
Okay.
Okay. Christopher, you want to sell retreats, buddy? Like, just get busy. 3 appointments and 10 appointments. Just get busy. Right. Yeah. And you'll forget about all your issues. Everybody, like you guys will forget about all your issues. Right. Because one of the things that I find that people constantly try to solve their problems. So solving is suppressing. What you really want to do is evolve. Like, you want to really impress yourself, and you want to move to the next level. So work on evolving, not solving. Solving is piece of the puzzle. Like, if you're spending too much money, okay, let's cut down your budget. Or if you are doing something like eating too much food and you want to get skinny, okay, or whatever. Simple message, just eat little less, right? Just calorie deficit. But what to create that calorie deficit, you would have to go through certain things, like you may have to work out every day, you may have to you may have to. So loving those things, learning to love the reason you don't work out, the reason you don't go into the gym, or the reason you don't do the intermittent fasting, or the reason you don't do those things is because you don't like them, right? And then you constantly complain of, like, you're trying to, from a frequency point of view, when frequency matches attraction happens. The fact is, if you want to lose weight, you have to create deficit. That's the fact. You all know that, correct? But we spend time in fighting that instead of evolving from that and saying, I love this. The workout, oh, I love it, right? So that evolution of adapting to the next things. Like for me, I love chai tea, and when I decided to go from A1C of 14 to completely eliminating it, right? I had to understand my circadian rhythm, and I decided that based on my research, I can't drink chai tea until about 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. So that means I have no food nothing whatsoever until about 9:30, and that was very difficult for me. I will say, like, that's not easy for me. Okay, that was I had to get to my state of, like, I love having. That's why the feeling is so crucial of me ultimately reaching that ultimate goal is so important for me. So because I wanted to reach the ultimate goal of, like, I'm strong, I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want, however much I want, and my blood work is absolutely perfect. That whole manifestation that I do, right? So in order for that to work, okay, I had to figure out a way for me to love that. It's okay to drink tea at 9:30. It's okay to eat lunch at only certain time. It's okay. So that shift had to happen, and I have to love it. It's not just shift, like temporary shift, because otherwise you go back into your old habits, correct? But it's about energetically aligned shift that needed to take place, and to do that is the same thing. So same thing here, right? This is a simple formula that I teach all the time, and it works every single time. This actually solves all the issues. It's a great evolution formula. You want to evolve in your business, you want to grow in your business, you want to make money from your business, you want to learn how fast you can make mistakes and get out of it. Really, that's so you are learning, right? Because you're learning. And I have a philosophy of, like, get paid before you get paid more. And that's my marketing philosophy. Get paid first, and then you get paid more. Okay, essentially. So if you notice my networking, the way it's been going, I've been investing about $600 a month right now for last month or so. And now I'm gonna rack it up really fast, right? But the first stage, so I put it in stages, and we'll talk about that. But I just want you to kind of get the concept down of simplicity of your plan. Whatever plan you're creating, create a simple plan. Don't complicate this. Okay, don't complicate this. I showed you my roadmap a little bit, but the more you stay aligned in your path, the faster you reach your goal. Okay. If you don't know something like social media, you don't know, okay, fine, leave it alone for now. It's not your thing. Just leave it alone, right? You like doing one-on-ones? Great. Let's hop on it. Let's do some one-on-ones. Okay. We'll create the infrastructure. So tomorrow we'll talk about offers and products and all these things some of you don't have. And then I'll teach you how to do the one-on-one appointment, so it leads to close every time. So you meet somebody, you close somebody. You meet somebody, you close somebody. You meet somebody, you close somebody. Make sense? And then it's just a matter of pulling in numbers, essentially. Okay? Great.
So really, it's to be seen. You're saying, okay, right now, as we're scaling, it's just your presence. You've got to put your presence to be seen by more.
Basically.
People.
Yeah.
So would you say, like yourself, starting out to be seen, we're obviously not going, you're not going to 20 places a day to be seen, but with the quickest way to condense that timing, would you say starting with LinkedIn to get your presence just out? We're projecting, right?
The fastest way to meet somebody, or can we meet campaign, is going to be some. Right. Okay. So the fastest way to do that would be to do networking, like attend like for you, because you have very specific market space, Swan. Okay, I would think about realtors. Where do they hang out? Right, right. So I would, right, I would go where they are, and then I would do can we meet campaign, because your likelihood of success is going to go skyrocket by doing so. Okay, so specific marketplaces. So you have very specific marketplace. Like for instance, I'm contacting some financial advisors now because I'm creating a separate, if you will, like a group for financial advisors, specifically for financial advisors. A lot of times they come in here and they see these things, and it's just not it's not how they basically communicate or operate and things of the nature. And we talk about a lot of personal financial stuff that cases and different things. So we're keeping that separate, if you will. Okay, so does it make sense what I'm saying to you guys so far?
Yes.
Good. Okay, and it will help you in a massive way. But just take heart, and I want you guys to start thinking about, those of you who don't have it, your offerings, right? What kind of offerings you really want to have, and you do have. And I'm going to start talking about that tomorrow and start creating an entire system behind it so you guys can actually follow through on that. Okay, and I want to say thank you for being part of my VIP. I really appreciate all of you. Okay, and thank you for showing up for the matter.
Thank you.
Thank